Chapter 5. After two
God
and a...
damn it. Fuck god damn it.
Excuse
fuck
me.
damn fuck.
Something is going on in the back. Sounds like Mr. Hot Dog.
Fuck god
Miss...
damn it. Fuck.
But Mr. Dog, what happened? Did you have an accident with a fork?
Goddamn Lizzie. Look what you made me do.
But Mr. Henry, you have a fork in the eye.
Thanks for the news flash. Lizzie. Will you get it? I can't see shit.
Yes, Mr. Henry.
Ahoo. Goddamn woman.
Sorry, Mr. Henry. But Mr. Hot Dog, this is terrible.
Elizabeth.
What happened?
Elizabeth.
Yes, Mr. Henry.
Elizabeth.
Yes.
Elizabeth. When a man sees a horrible vagina like that, it leaves him with two choices. Either kill himself or poke the eyes out with a fork, and no goddamn ugly beaver gonna whack old Henry.
But that's terrible, Mr. Henry.
Elizabeth.
Yes.
Where are you?
I'm right here by your side, Mr. Henry.
Thank you, Elizabeth. You have always been a great support.
Thank you, Mr. Hot Dog.
Elizabeth. Elizabeth.
Yes, Mr. Hot Dog.
Read for me. Read.
But I
Read
am.
like it was your last book.
But I am reading.
Elizabeth. Where are you?
I'm right here.
Don't go. Read, Elizabeth. Read for me.
But I am.
Read, goddammit. Read for me, read, Elizabeth, read like the whole universe is listening, read for the birds and pretty flowers, read for the children of the earth, read for all humanity. Read for me, Elizabeth. Read, goddammit.
Okay, Mr. Henry, you just sit here by my side and I'll read for you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Elizabeth. Where are you?
I'm still here. Are you sitting all right?
Please, thank you, Elizabeth.
You're welcome, Mr. Henry. Okay, let's keep on with the story. Chapter 5. Early summer 1808. After nearly 2.5 years of horrible gases from the depths of Virginia following Rusty Cannon's big Irish dade sniffer, the little party entered the beautiful Valley of God's Own Nuts, just hanging there dangling right in the devil's face and down his chin too. The little group, who now was 3, because Little Butts had a little baby girl out his butts. It might sound strange, but as Rusty said, when a family loves butts as much as I do, babies just happen. Just like baby Jesus, he also came out of the butt. Otherwise his mother, Virgin Mary, would not really be a virgin, right? And they named the little baby girl Jenny, after their sweet departed mother and wife, who so tragically lost her life, blowing sailors in a tool shed, over in Ireland. And little Jenny came out pretty funny too, because God made sure to give her a couple of extra limbs, to compensate for all the good fun he had. And for that, they really loved God. And they all loved Jesus too, being such a legendary dade sniffer, coming out of the butt and all, with crap on his nose. And they all had so much good lovin', and God was happy finally having himself some new bud buddies. And when all 5 of them had sweet lovin', then they really had a party. And sometimes they had a sniff off. But Jesus always won, being such a legendary dade sniffer and all, coming out of the butt of Virgin Mary, with crap on his nose. So with so much love, Little Pretty Butts and Rusty Cannon had themselves 36 kids. And God made sure that all the children were equipped with enough arms and legs to compensate for all the good God fun he had, cribbling them. And of course, they all had 2 buttholes, or more, after Little Butts. And they loved the kids, really loved them all, funny or not. If they had a funny kid, it was just God having a good God laugh, because he was the funniest guy in the whole universe. And the good folks of the valley knew they had the most important job in the world. handling God's own dates. The biggest dates in the whole wide world, just hanging there dangling that mean old devil right in his ugly face and down the chin. And they all knew that if they didn't do their job, God will really show you how nice he is and rip a good big lump out of you, so you can learn the lesson. Because he loves you. The years went by, and the little community grew, and they lived a happy, peaceful life in the valley, protected from the outside world. They just lived together as one big family, and they were all brothers and sisters since they all came out of butt spots. And everybody was handling God's mega dates, and the kids got funnier and funnier, and God was happy because his dates had never been bigger. And it was always summer, and they all just walked around butt naked with two buttholes and funny limps in their anaconda-like wieners, handling dates, and drinking date juice out of big jugs. They all really loved date juice. That was God's reward for taking so good care of his big dates. And you are always happy when you drink God's own nut juice out of big jugs. But you gotta be careful with date juice. Not too much. Otherwise it's just plain nasty. And you get diarrhea. The people of the big dates didn't like when people got nasty. A little sip of date juice from big jugs is fine and makes mankind happy. But too much of God's own nectar, and you think you become him. And it's when good God's humor comes to a stop. He gets really super pissed off. So to show you how nice a pissed off God can be, he will diminish your body mass with great efficiency. But normally he would just enjoy sit and watch his children gently handle his dates. And sometimes rip off an arm or a couple of legs, so they could be more careful. Because the whole existence of all mankind was depending on them. And God was spending more and more time in the valley because he really much liked a good God laugh at that little nasty devil. And the good folks were handling his dates with so much love. And God liked what he saw. And when he thought the folks needed a break, he had a little horn he was honking, and then he would let it rain with gold dust down the valley. Because that makes mankind happy. And then he would let all the bells of heaven start ringing. So would the little happy community run around in the golden shower butt naked with their big anaconda-like wieners and their two buttholes sitting right there on each butt cheek with funny limps all over the place, and Jesus coming out of the butt with crap on his nose and out of his ears, and Rusty Cannon pouring date juice all over big jocks on the brink of the nasty hole called the devil's anus, protected from the busiest swamps of Vaginia. While God is watching, having a good God laugh, honking his horn, while his bells were ringing. So, that's pretty much what there is to say about the good folks of the Big Date Valley. You can see now that those people just had to be happy, drinking God's own nut juice, and having two buttholes and all. But all of that was about to change. And now, we'll enter a whole different world, outside the Big Date Valley, to see how it's going there. It's been a couple of 100 years since Rusty Cannon McElroy entered the valley, and while they good folks didn't need to change, the outside world have changed a bit.